Welcome to Executives Shift. Today we're focusing on the real drivers of transformation. Middle managers. They rarely get the spotlight, but they decide whether change moves forward or falls apart. Why are they so critical, yet so often overlooked? And what can leaders do to unlock their potential? Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really big topic, something critical. Digital transformation.
It's everywhere, isn't it?
It really is. And,
Yeah.
you often hear about transformations failing because the strategy was wrong, or maybe, I don't know, the tech wasn't quite right.
Right. The shiny objects.
Exactly. But what if the real problem, the place where things really go sideways, is, well, hiding in plain sight? Right in the middle.
Ah, the middle managers.
Precisely. Our deep dive today is really anchored in this insightful piece called Middle Managers, the Heart of Transformation, which leans a lot on Digitopia's Digital Transformation Guide.
A very solid guide.
It is. And we're going to unpack why these managers aren't just, cogs in the machine, but are actually critical for success.
Yeah.
Why they're often missed, and how empowering them is frankly the key.
Yeah, absolutely. So our mission today really is to get under the hood of why so many transformations, even with good intentions, just fizzle out. And maybe more importantly, find some real actionable strategies. For leaders, sure, but also for anyone who's just trying to navigate change in their company.
So you can walk away understanding how this stuff actually happens on the ground.
Or doesn't happen, as the case may be.
Right. Okay, so diving right in, the core idea from the source is, well, it challenges that common view. It says transformation doesn't fail up top with strategy or down below on the front line.
Yeah.
It fails in that messy space, the tension between bold ambition and day-to-day execution.
That's a great way to put it. Tension.
And that tension is most visible, most fragile right there in the middle layer.
Yeah.
We tend to think of middle managers as just passive executors.
Right.
Just passing down orders.
Messengers, yeah. Sometimes shot.
Sometimes, unfortunately. But the source, especially that Digitopia guys, it just completely flips that. It calls them the critical translators of vision into action.
Translator. That's the key word, not just conduits.
Exactly. They're like the nervous system connecting the brain's big ideas to the muscles doing the work.
And this is where it gets really interesting, why things go wrong. It's usually not because the CEO lacks vision.
No, the vision might be brilliant.
Or even that the frontline teams are digging their heels in necessarily. The research points to a breakdown in alignment between layers.
Alignment. Okay, let's unpack that word because it gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
Our source says it's way more than just like sending out emails or having town halls.
Oh yeah, much more.
It's about shared understanding, shared priorities, and, this is the big one, shared ownership.
Ownership. That's it. Without that, it's all just theory.
Strategies just stay PowerPoints, right?
Okay.
Roadmaps gather dust.
Exactly. And this is where those middle managers are just indispensable. They are literally the connective tissue holding that alignment together.
Connective tissue.
They're the ones who have to turn the why from the top into the how for their teams.
They make it practical.
They translate strategy into, operational plans. They make sure transformation shows up in the Monday morning meetings, the KPIs, the workflows, the team conversations.
Not just in the fancy steering committee minutes that nobody reads.
Precisely. They make it real day to day.
Okay, so if they're that vital, what's the big mistake? Why does it go wrong?
Well, the source points a big finger at this. Middle managers are often left out of the transformation design process.
Ah, so they're just handed the plan.
Exactly. The vision gets cooked up upstairs, then it's sort of handed down, and they're left to figure out how to implement, maybe even defend, something they had no hand in creating.
It's like being told to bake a cake, but you didn't choose the recipe or ingredients.
That's a perfect analogy. And then you're judged on how well the cake turns out.
Right.
And this creates what the source calls a credibility gap.
Credibility gap. Explain that.
Well, the frontline teams, they see the changes coming down, but maybe their direct manager, the middle manager, hasn't fully bought in. Or maybe they don't even fully grasp the why behind it themselves.
Because they weren't involved.
Right. So what happens? They might often unconsciously slow down execution.
Not deliberately sabotaging it, maybe?
Not necessarily. It's more like they're caught in this really tough spot. Conflict, right?
Yeah.
They have to deliver today's results using the old ways because that's what their targets demand.
While simultaneously trying to change tomorrow's systems.
Yeah. It's an impossible bind sometimes. Their metrics might reward the old stuff, stability, cost cutting.
While the transformation needs experimentation, maybe some initial disruption.
Exactly. It's a tightrope walk with no net.
Wow, yeah, I can really see that.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of listeners have felt that squeeze. So, okay, understanding that role is one thing, but what else makes it so tough for them? There are deeper issues too, right? Cultural, structural things.
Absolutely. And Digitopia's framework really emphasizes this. Digital transformation isn't just plugging in new software.
No, it's cultural. That's a key phrase.
It is. And culture change, well, that's driven by leadership behavior.
Meaning what leaders do, not just what they say.
Precisely. And middle managers. They are powerful signalers of what truly matters to the teams on the ground.
So, if the CEO gives a big speech about innovation,
Right.
but the middle manager is still rewarding only performance over experimentation or stability over speed or, compliance over creativity,
And guess what the team pays attention to?
the manager's actions. Every time. It doesn't matter what the CEO said.
Exactly. Their behavior becomes the real signal. Think about like agile adoption. CEO says, we're agile.
Yep, heard that one.
But the manager keeps demanding rigid, upfront plans and punishes any sprint that doesn't deliver exactly as predicted. The team learns fast. Agile talk is just talk. The manager's way is what counts for survival, for bonuses.
Wow. So the culture gets shaped right there.
Right there. And then you add the structural pressures. They're under enormous pressure, the source says. They're constantly trying to reconcile these big strategic demands with very real operational constraints.
Like what sort of constraints?
Oh, tight budgets, clunky old legacy systems that don't talk to the new stuff, teams that are maybe skeptical or overworked.
And the big one you mentioned earlier, KPIs that haven't changed in years.
That's often the killer. If your bonus depends on keeping an old system running smoothly, are you really going to champion the risky new replacement?
Probably not. You'll protect your bonus.
You'll default to what's safe, and what's safe is usually.
The status quo, even if it's not working great anymore.
Exactly, even if it's holding the whole transformation back.
Okay, so this paints a pretty challenging picture. They're critical, but often excluded, culturally squeezed, and structurally constrained.
It's a tough gig.
So the big question then, how do we fix this? How do we actually empower them? The source gives us 5 strategic moves, right?
Yes, 5 key moves for leaders, and they're really practical, which is good.
Let's hear them.
Okay, first one, involve them early. And this means really involve them, not just brief them.
So don't just inform, involve.
Exactly. Pull them into the actual planning sessions, ask them the hard questions. Where are the real bottlenecks? What incentives are messing things up? Where's the cultural resistance hiding?
Because they know the ground truth.
They hold the operational truths executives often miss, the stuff that doesn't make it into the high-level reports.
Okay, involve them early. What's number 2?
Second, redefine their KPIs. This one is huge.
The metrics again.
Yep. The guide points out transformation tanks when traditional KPIs persist. If you're measuring them only on stability or cost, they can't embrace change effectively.
So what should the new KPIs look like?
They need to align with innovation, adaptability, and team capability building. Things like maybe successful pilots launched, or new skills developed within their team, or adoption rates of new processes.
Things that actually reflect the transformation goals. Makes sense. Number 3.
Third, create structured alignment rituals, going beyond the occasional town hall.
Yeah, those often feel a bit one way.
They can. This is about building regular, structured ways to align across levels and functions, using tools like maturity assessments and transformation KPIs.
Like a shared dashboard.
Exactly. Something that gives everyone shared facts, not opinions. When every manager is looking at the same data about progress, bottlenecks, adoption rates,
They can row in the same direction.
you got it. Shared visibility drives shared action.
Okay, logical. 4th move.
Fourth, invest in their development. This seems obvious, but it's often overlooked for this group.
Really? You'd think they'd get more training.
Ironically, middle managers often get the least training in change leadership, even though they carry arguably the most complex burden.
Wow.
So you need to invest in their skills, coaching, communication, navigating ambiguity, conflict resolution, help them handle the pressure.
Prevent that digital fatigue the source mentions.
Precisely. Otherwise, they just burn out trying to juggle everything.
Okay, crucial investment. And the last one, number 5.
Finally, fifth, celebrate and amplify success.
Make heroes out of them.
Kind of, yeah. When a middle manager leads a really successful pilot project, or manages to turn around a resistant team, or figures out how to fix a broken process, make it visible.
Shine a spotlight.
Tell their story. Turn them into internal heroes of transformation. Because, as the source says, visibility breeds ownership.
When people see success being recognized, they're more likely to step up themselves.
Absolutely. It creates momentum and shows everyone that change is possible and valued.
Those 5 moves
Well,
involve early, redefine KPIs, create alignment rituals, invest in development, and celebrate success. That feels like a really solid framework.
it addresses the core issues we talked about, the exclusion, the misaligned incentives, the lack of support.
Yeah, it really brings it all together, reinforcing just how central these middle managers are. They're not just a layer, they're the engine room.
Absolutely. And that final thought from the guide really hammers it home. Transformation must become operational to become real.
Operational to become real. I like that.
It's not real just because it's on a slide deck. It becomes real in the team meeting, the budget review, the sprint retrospective.
In the everyday grind.
That's where it happens. That's where the middle manager lives and works.
So the big takeaway here, middle managers are not the blockers of transformation. That's the old view.
No.
They are the activators if we empower them to be.
That if is doing a lot of work. It requires intentional effort from leadership.
It really does.
Yeah.
So maybe for everyone listening, the next time you're involved in some kind of change, big or small,
Or maybe feeling frustrated by it.
yeah, or feeling frustrated,
Mhm.
maybe pause and think about this middle layer. How are they being involved, supported, measured? How might shifting that perspective change things?
It's a powerful lens to look through. Could make all the difference.